felt so bad about myself. I didn't like who I was. I didn't know how to bring myself out of it. And
when I was about 13, I was self-harming, stopped going to school, haven't been to school since I was 12.
10 beloved members of The Voice who lost everything did not lose it on stage. They lost it in life. Fame could not protect them from pain, pressure, trauma, or the battles they carried alone. These were the contestants who sang with hope while fighting storms that nearly broke them, and their stories still stay with us.
I was using drugs and alcohol as much as possible, but before it was too late, I reached out for help.
There's Mommy.
Adam David. Adam David walked into The Voice Season 27 carrying more weight than anyone could see. He wasn't just a contestant. He was a man who had almost lost his life to addiction. Before the show, Adam had spent years fighting substances that trapped him, drained him, and almost cost him every part of himself. He said he felt stuck in a dark room, unable to escape.
Yeah, it was a stressful thing, to say the least. That was probably the most nervous I've ever been in my life.
But music kept calling him back. Even during his lowest days, he wrote his song Savior, hoping one day he might save himself too. When Adam finally stood on the Voice stage, viewers saw confidence. They didn't see the battle scars. His powerful performances made him a fan favorite, but what truly touched people was how honest he was about his pain. He talked about his recovery, about rebuilding his life one small step at a time, and about choosing hope even when it felt impossible. If Adam's journey felt heavy, the next contestant's story carries an even deeper sadness. Sophronio Vasquez. Sophronio Vasquez became a beloved name on The Voice Season 26, not just for his talent, but for the pain he carried quietly. He won the entire season, yet behind the smile, Sophronio lived a life shaped by hardship long before the show ever knew his name. Born in the Philippines, he grew up surrounded by struggle, rejection, and emotional weight that followed him for years. He auditioned again and again on different singing platforms before ever getting a chance on The Voice.
The adversity that this kid's been through. You don't know, there's real life stuff happening at home with family and real serious stuff, man. And
when he finally stepped onto the stage, viewers felt something rare. His voice didn't just sound strong, it sounded wounded. Coaches said there was a sadness in him that made every note feel personal. Sophronio later shared that he had endured a very tragic chapter in his life, one he couldn't even talk about on camera. It was pain so deep, it shaped his entire identity. Winning The Voice should have erased that past, but trauma doesn't disappear that easily. Fans loved him because he sang like someone who had survived more than he was ready to say. His victory was powerful, but his journey was painful. And if Sophronio's quiet heartbreak moved millions, the next story shows an even heavier struggle. 3. Anna Clandining. Anna Clandining's journey on The Voice Season 16 was one of the most emotional stories viewers ever saw. She walked onto the stage with a soft smile, but that smile hid years of pain. Anna had spent most of her teenage life fighting severe anxiety and depression. At one point, she was so overwhelmed that she stopped leaving her house for almost a year. Music wasn't just her dream, it was her lifeline.
Life is filled with peaks and valleys. You have seen and experienced a lot of valleys. Tonight, young lady, you are on a peak.
When she sang Angel in her audition, the room went silent. Viewers felt every word because they knew she wasn't performing. She was surviving. Anna talked openly on the show about her mental health, her breakdowns, and the way fear controlled every part of her life. Fans loved her because she was real. She was raw. She showed millions that broken people can still create beauty.
I remember I couldn't step out of bed. I didn't want to face the world, and now I'm facing thousands of people.
It's going to mean the world to me to see her.
But after the show, the pressure didn't fade. Anna continued struggling with panic attacks, self-doubt, and the fear of disappointing people who believed in her. She said she had days where she felt she was losing herself again. And if Anna's quiet battle touched hearts, the next contestant's story reveals an even heavier kind of pain. Malik Davage. Malik Davage entered The Voice Season 12 with hope, talent, and a voice that felt like pure emotion. But what viewers didn't know was that Malik had spent most of his life fighting to escape a childhood filled with hardship. Growing up in Washington, D.C., he faced poverty, family, trauma, and dangerous environments that shaped him before he ever stepped onto a stage.
Such a good guy. Hey.
When he sang Sure Thing in his audition, he told coach Adam Levine that he wanted to be someone people could look up to, and people did. Fans connected deeply with his honesty, especially when he spoke about raising his daughter while trying to break generational cycles that had weighed on his family for years. But after the show, life became even harder. Malik struggled with depression, financial instability, and pressure to provide while still chasing a dream that felt just out of reach. He said there were days he questioned everything: his worth, his music, his future. And if Malik's struggle felt overwhelming, the next contestant's story carries a heartbreak that is impossible to forget. Jameson Pucket. Jameson Pucket appeared on The Voice with a voice that felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. Viewers loved him instantly for his soulful sound and the joy he brought to every song. Before that stage, Jameson struggled with finding his place in the world. He grew up in Memphis, where opportunities were few and hard work felt like a daily battle. Music was his way out, but even after The Voice, he didn't feel like he had truly arrived. After the show, Jameson faced the harsh reality many contestants meet. The applause stopped, the offers weren't enough, and life outside the competition felt heavier than life inside it. He described feeling lost and unsure who he was without a TV audience cheering for him. He worked odd jobs, tried to write new songs, and chased opportunities that never fully took off. Every performance felt like a test of his own belief. His story isn't about losing a competition. It's about losing direction and slowly finding it again through the music he refuses to abandon. And if Jameson's ongoing struggle touched your heart, the next story shows a beloved artist whose challenges were even more difficult to overcome. Craig Eddy. Eddy walked into The Voice with confidence and charisma the moment he opened his mouth. He had a smooth tone and a stage presence that made coaches turn their chairs instantly. His audition video reached hundreds of thousands of views, and fans in the live shows believed he had the kind of talent that could last forever. But what many viewers didn't see was the battle he fought every day off stage. Long before The Voice, Eddy carried anxiety so heavy that he often questioned whether he belonged anywhere. Singing was his safe place, the one moment where fear disappeared. But the pressure to keep performing, the fear of disappointing his fans, and the constant comparisons to others began to chip away at his confidence. After the show, the music opportunities slowed, and the doubt began to grow louder. Days that once started with hope began to crumble into anxiety and self-criticism. And as Eddy works to rebuild his confidence, he carries a story that proves the hardest battles are often the ones you can't see. If stories like these matter to you and you want more chapters of the lives behind The Voice's brightest stars, take a second to subscribe. It helps us keep their voices remembered. Karesa Eden. Karesa Eden became the voice everyone remembered from The Voice Australia Season 1. She didn't just win the show, she shook the entire country with a voice that sounded older than her years. But behind that powerful sound was a lifetime of pain. Karesa grew up in a difficult home. She spent time in foster care, lived through trauma no child should ever face, and carried emotional wounds into adulthood. Singing wasn't just her passion, it was her escape.
Spent about 2.5 to 3.5 years in refuges, moving place to place. Growing up, I always felt like I've been very pushed down and shut down and not really worth much.
When she won The Voice, people thought her life would finally calm down, but the fame brought pressure she wasn't ready for. Karesa struggled with anxiety, fear of the spotlight, and the expectations placed on someone who never had stability to begin with. She often felt overwhelmed and stepped away from music several times. At one point, she said she felt broken inside, even while millions thought she was thriving. And if Karesa's journey felt heavy, the next story belongs to a woman who lost herself even after the world crowned her a star. Allison Porter. Allison Porter entered The Voice Season 10 with a past few contestants could understand. Long before the show, she had been a Hollywood child star, appearing in major films and living a life most kids could only imagine. But fame at a young age came with a cost. By her 20s, Allison was battling addiction, exhaustion, and a complete loss of identity. She said she felt like she had crashed long before she ever found success in music.
It was a very high-stress environment, and I lost myself.
When she auditioned for The Voice, she wasn't just trying to win, she was trying to rebuild herself. Her blind audition stunned the coaches, and her emotional honesty made viewers fall in love with her story. Winning season 10 was a turning point, but recovery wasn't simple. After the show, Allison faced the hard work of rebuilding her life as a single mother, staying sober, and balancing a career that demanded more than she sometimes had to give.
Using drugs and alcohol as much as possible, but before it was too late, I reached out for help.
There's Mommy.
I've been sober now for 8 years. I really feel like that's when my life started.
Fans adored her because she was open about every struggle. She never hid her past, never pretended that victory fixed everything. Instead, she showed the world that healing is not a straight line. It's a daily choice, and often the hardest one. And as Allison continues her journey, her resilience proves that even those who fall the hardest can rise again. Jackie Lee. Jackie Lee became one of the brightest voices on The Voice Season 5. She was only 16, but her performances sounded like they came from someone who had already lived a full lifetime of emotion. Fans loved her instantly. She finished as runner-up, and everyone believed she was heading straight toward a major pop career. But behind the scenes, Jackie was struggling in ways the audience never saw.
Or we crash 'cause we both know how this ends. The clock ticks till it breaks your glass and I drown in you.
After The Voice, she signed with a big label, but the industry pressure crushed her spirit. She said she felt trapped inside a machine, pushed to be someone she wasn't. Her mental health began to break. She battled anxiety, burnout, and a loss of identity so deep, she stepped away from music for a long time. At one point, she said she didn't even recognize herself anymore. Jackie spoke openly about the emotional collapse she had after the show, the confusion, the pressure, and the feeling that she had lost everything she once believed about her future. Fans still love her because she never hid the truth. She showed courage by admitting she was hurting. And if Jackie's struggle felt heavy, the next contestant lived through a battle that almost destroyed his life before music helped him rise again. 10. Laith Al-Saadi. Laith Al-Saadi, the blues rock powerhouse from The Voice Season 10, won millions over with his gravel-rich tone and soulful guitar work. But long before he ever stepped onto the stage, Laith fought a battle that nearly took everything from him. In his early life, he struggled with addiction, a fight that left deep scars and nearly ended his career before it began. He had to rebuild his life from the ground up.
Developed. You must perform a lot, right?
For the last 20 years, I've played over 300 dates a year.
Wow.
Even after The Voice, life didn't magically fall into place. Laith spoke about the pressure of trying to maintain a career while carrying the weight of his past. He worked nonstop, touring, performing, and trying to stay afloat in an industry that often ignores the emotional well-being of artists. The stress took a toll. He admitted he had moments where old fears returned, moments where he felt like he could slip backward if he wasn't careful. And Laith's story is a reminder that many singers leave the stage smiling, even when life behind that smile is breaking.